Welcome back. Today we're getting started on a new project. It's this 2008 Dodge Grand Caravan. In this video we're going to be changing the sway bar end links, so we're going to go ahead and jump into that. So here is the sway bar end link right here. This is an 18 millimeter and then a T30 if we need it. So if we start backing this off and the whole thing wants to spin, we'll get an 18 millimeter wrench and then put the T30 on an impact and then we'll run it out. So it's going to be the same down here. It's going to be a little more difficult on the lower part just because we can't really get to it with an impact. But we're going to go ahead and give it a shot. Alright, so on the other side I learned that these have a nylon locking nut, and once I used the torch to heat up the nut, we were able to get this to come off. So we're going to keep that in our back pocket, just going to see what happens. We've got an 18 millimeter and then we have a T30, and we're just going to see what happens. Okay, actually, you know what? I'm going to just try the impact, see what happens. I'll probably spin just like the other side. Yep, no luck. Okay, so it's getting a little bit fussy, so I'm going to go ahead and grab the torch, and as we start to heat it up, you'll notice the nylon lock will start to melt and come out. While it's in this nice melty state, it is easy and it's actually a good time to use the impact to get this off here. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to switch over to the impact. We'll heat that up again and get it off there. Okay, take the wrench. Warm it up again. It's getting a little fussy. I think I'll switch off of the impact so we don't strip this out. Well, I think this one's asking to get cut too. I had to cut the other one on the bottom. Okay, well, we're cutting this one. I wouldn't suggest picking up the piece immediately after cutting something like that. It's gonna be hot. So now we're going to go to the bottom bolt and see how stubborn it's gonna be. It has been confirmed that this bottom bolt wants to give us a hard time too. So what we're gonna do, you can see I've got my socket on here, and I put 2 extensions on here. I think we're about 12 inches. And I'm gonna start with the breaker bar and try to break it loose. There are notches here. I can't get a wrench on there. So hopefully we can at least break it loose, and then I can try the heating method and the Torx and the wrench. So we're going to go ahead and get started here. Alright, so this bottom one's just as ornery as every other one of them, so I'm going to cut it with the cutoff wheel. Alright, well, now that I have the sway bar end links off, they did not come off the easy way. And I'm sure there's an easier way. Alright, here is the original sway bar end link that we just took off. You can see did not want to participate. So we got these cut off, and this is the new one. And this is a Detroit Axle brand. It's probably one of the more decent brands that I found on Amazon. But just in comparison, you can see that even the Amazon brand is much thicker here. They also have grease fittings, so once we get them installed, we'll grease them up. So we're going to go ahead and jump in and get this one put on. Alright, so if you remember when we removed the original sway bar end links, these nuts were an 18 millimeter. And we couldn't get onto the back side, and that's why I had to end up eventually cutting them off. But we can use an 18 millimeter open end wrench to hold this, and then these nuts that come with this particular brand is a 17 millimeter. So I'm going to go ahead and set this in place. Here we go. We'll go ahead and get this nut on the top. Then we'll put the nut on the bottom to hold it in place. And I'm not sure if you can see, this hole is not round. These nuts are actually smashed so that once they go on, they'll hold in place. I don't know if you can tell by this view how it looks a little oblong. At this point, we're going to go ahead and run the bottom on. So I've got my 17 millimeter socket here, my 18 millimeter wrench here. So we'll put the wrench on this part. Now I'm going to switch over to a socket, or a ratchet, and we just want to make sure this is good and tight. Okay, now we're ready for the top bolt. We'll do the same. We'll hold the back side with the 18 millimeter wrench. Just want to use a ratchet just to make sure it's tight and the impact didn't leave it loose. I don't have the torque specs on this, but if I find them, I'll put them on the screen. Alright, now that the sway bar end links are installed, the next thing I'm going to do is the sway bar bushings. And if that's something you need to do on your van, go ahead and subscribe so that when that video goes live, you'll get the notification. And we'll see you on the next video. Thank you.